If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. Something else that a lot of folks out there have opinions about left and right. And I mean, to some extent, it sort of might come down to who is in the White House. I'm talking about the Trump tax codes that could possibly end. Steve, are folks talking about this, and what are your thoughts?
100%. It's not what you have, it's what you have after taxes and fees. And, people are sitting around worrying about this election. They need to be worried about taxes. If the 2026 Trump tax package is not renewed, and wait a minute, I'm not talking about whether you vote red, blue, or purple. It's about this package. If it's not renewed, I believe you're going to see a 30 to 35% increase in your income taxes. It's huge. Think about how that would affect your retirement. So much, Derrick, we talk about tax-free strategies, how you could have income for the rest of your life and have it tax-free. You've just got to plan. Did you plan to fail or fail to plan? Ask yourself that question.
I'll definitely agree with you on there, because the main thing that gets me and worried about that, I don't know if y'all feel this way, is that they don't have to do anything. They just don't renew it and it falls off the books. Right. And it's probably not going to be something that's on the news that they're sitting there going, hey, this is a big deal and we got to vote on this or anything like that. Silence in this case is a politician's best friend. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to bring it up. It falls off the books. And guess what? We're stuck with a higher tax bill because, yes, and when Trump was in office, he did this. He streamlined your deductions, everything like that. And whether good or worse, depending on which side of, you fall on the deductions and everything. But it significantly lowered our tax bill. And that's going to be something that we're going to have to face. And I always, like Steve, you said, plan to fail and everything. When I do portfolios and I'm sitting down with our clients, we're already factoring this in. We're already going to say it's going to happen. The worst thing that if I'm wrong is, guess what? You have more money. But if what I think is going to happen is they're going to let it fall off the books and you're going to be in a worse tax situation, that's what we're planning for. We're not planning for it to continue on and everything to be rosy, because these are one of the situations we stress test your portfolio, because not only if they fall off, what if we go to the 1980s? Y'all remember that? The tax rate, everybody getting hammered 40, 50% taxes. That's what we plan for too. What are you going to do if it gets to the worst tax environment that we've had as the United States? Give us a call today, guys. This is going to be something that is going to affect your life. We're going to do first 5 callers. We're going to do again 5 tax plans. We're going to set up across 5 tax plans for the first 5 callers.
I recently found a list on YouTube that said, if you have these 5 things in place for retirement, you're probably much better off than you think. I want to get your take on this, guys. Number 1, you're not interested in status, right? So you're not keeping up with the Joneses there. Number 2, you live below your means. Number 3, your house is paid off and you have little to no debt. Number 4, you have an emergency fund outside your retirement funds. And number 5, you have a sizable Social Security or pension. Now, I list those and I go, who in the world has all these things checked off? They must be 1 in a million. I have to get your opinion on this, guys.
I'd say the most successful retirees, this is absolutely true. These are things that the most successful retirees really have bank savings. They have very little debt, if any. And they're not interested in buying Porsches or Lamborghinis or anything like that, or $200,000 RVs. They're comfortable in their Toyota Tundra truck and everything. And lifestyle comes a big deal in retirement. How much money do you spend on a monthly basis? Because I will show you the numbers, and you have to be realistic when it comes down to income. You have to have a plan in place of how to generate more income if you need more income, but you can't just rely on, a certain dollar amount, right, Steve? Because there is no $1 million, $2 million. If I hit that, I'm good. That doesn't exist anymore, guys. A long time it hasn't existed.
Well, I think it's interesting too, Derrick, when you think about those 5 things and then you think about so much in retirement planning, we help our clients figure out what's your thing. You can't have a new house in retirement, have a new car every year. You can't travel the world, all states. You can't do everything. So when you really sit down and couples come together, if it's a couple versus a single person, and they figure out what their thing is, then we can help them move forward and figure out how to have that and everything else in retirement. But I think it's a part of doing a plan. We talk about retirement so much as 25% about the numbers. We were just talking about those 5 things, but it's also about 75% about the emotions. What do you do in retirement?
Absolutely, Steve. And practical application here. We have a client I just took on, rolled his money over to us. He had an advisor he wasn't happy with. And he told me at the start, he goes, I just don't have a plan. This guy just manages my money. I asked him about taxes, and he says, hey, go talk to an accountant. I need help getting a will together, everything. And, well, no, you need to go talk to a lawyer. How much should I convert in Roth conversions each year? You need to talk to your accountant again. I don't know your tax situation or anything. So these are things that he had a problem with. And so he came on as a client to Hoyle Financial, and he was really taken back because we were very specific. He told me at the start, the first time I met him, his plan was to buy an RV for $40,000. And this goes on 2-3 meetings later, and after our plan's put together, and specifically in the plan, it says, we will do Roth conversions of this amount of money each year. And in 2023, when you plan on buying an RV, we are going to take the money from your Roth account. And he said, I have never had not only that attention to detail, but that specific of a plan. And that's what we do here is, if you need that, if you need me to tell you exactly where to take money from, that's what we're going to do. And that's where we're going to make sure that you have, because there's some people that are really detail-oriented like us, and there's other people that just want a vague picture of how everything works, and let us do the rest of the work. And that's what you should expect from your advisor, hands down, is the specifics that you're looking for to make sure that you live the lifestyle you want. And you can go, this same gentleman had a 7-year plan, and we set him up where, hey, in 4 years, if he wants to walk away, he can walk away. And he told me, he goes, you may have just saved me years of my life. And that goes back to give your boss 2 or 3 more years, or you can give me 2 or 3 more hours of your time, and we can put together that plan where you can walk away and have that added peace of mind.
If you're serious about your retirement, if you're serious about having all your ducks in a row, give us 2 hours of your time. You know what? Don't give your boss 2 more years. Make sure that if you do, you have a plan in place.
All right, guys, let's talk nutrition for just a second here. Apparently, there's a lot of confusion surrounding the sugar in fruit, right? We always think fruit is healthy. Maybe not. Well, some believe it's just as bad for you as processed sugar. But is an apple bad for you just because it's got the same amount of sugar as, let's say, a Snickers bar? Here's nutrition therapist Lauren Kelly.
The natural sugars in fruit are not the same as added sugars in processed foods. In fact, fruit is incredibly beneficial for your health. Fruits are packed with essential vitamins, minerals, fiber, water, and other nutrients that are crucial for maintaining good health. For most people, eating fruit is totally fine and encouraged as part of a balanced diet.
Okay, so really it comes down to misconceptions, right? You think apple versus Snicker. Of course, apple is going to be healthier, right? Well, maybe not with all the sugar. So if there's all these misconceptions about nutrition and what's healthy and what's not, there's got to be a lot of misconceptions out there about retirement and retirement planning that you guys have heard from clients.
They're everywhere. Derrick, people come to see me and say, oh, I've got this target date fund. I'm going to be set when I retire. It's a horrible plan. People, I'm totally balanced. Well, when the market goes down, are you going to be very balanced as you lose that money? Derrick, I think you should address some of those.
Yeah, and probably the most common misconceptions that I hear is that they are going to have 2 things. They're going to have as much income in retirement or more. That is something that's possible, but you have to plan for that. And really, you have to utilize a number of things like fixed index annuities to produce that kind of income. So there's a lot of things with that as well. But another misconception is that fixed index annuities at its core, huge misconception. So I'll tell you, we have 2 clients that couldn't be more best of friends. They worked at the same place here in Amarillo for 30 years. And they go golfing all the time, great friends, but you couldn't find 2 more different people in investment strategy as they are. They're polar opposites. One of them has almost everything in bank funds and annuities. He loves them, can't get enough of them. loves the safety and the income they provide to him. And the other one wouldn't touch an annuity with a 10-foot pole. And when they first came to me, this is how they were set up. And he was all about risk. He's all about the market and he didn't want to see any other avenues of security. And so really I had to bridge the two between them. And it was like I was in a room with their buddy at the same time. I know in a situation, a lot of times it's like husband and wife are like that too, right, Steve? Two different risk strategies, but it was like John told me what he's doing, and I don't like it, but he had some good points, and I'm like, okay, so now we're starting to break it down a little bit. But I have to tell everybody too, misconception is that there is one golden thing that you could get invested in. There's one strategy, there's one stock. These guys have two different levels of retirement. One's more of a spender, one's more of a saver. How much money you need in retirement, how much Social Security is for you, what other assets you have, all those things factor in. So it's not cookie cutter and everything. And I'm telling you, it's funny because these guys are such good friends, but totally two different outlooks on financial success. And there's a lot of different things that you can do to merge these two and make it successful, because fixed index annuities have a great place in people's portfolio for a lot of people, and so does the market for a lot of people. Sure. But creating opportunities and alternatives is the biggest thing that I see as a misconception is that they're just going to have all their funds in the market, right, Steve? How many times have we seen that where everything's in a 401k, their entire portfolio, $1.5 million, and it's in a life path plan in their 401k. And it's like, what happens if the market falls? You only have one place to take money from. You limit yourself, right?
I mean, Derrick, we have a client in Dallas right now that works for a huge financial company, and he has 100% of his retirement in that one stock. I mean, just imagine. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he knows it too. And he's one of those that have fallen prey to that addicted to returns thing. I told him before he comes on as a client, we got to diversify. We got to do things a little bit different. And so he has a plan in place, and we're getting everything together for him to move those funds over. But meanwhile, he is stressed. I mean, can you imagine, not just in one life path plan or one particular field in the market, he has it all in one stock. And this guy, I mean, even on the phone, you can tell he's like chewing on his fingernails kind of thing.
He should be, Derrick. He should be. That's the crazy part. And he's right up on retirement. I mean, he's mid-60s. He's right there. Some negative news on that firm could wipe out the retirement he's always dreamed of, Derrick.
Absolutely, Steve. And that's something that you got to be able to walk away and really deep dive into that plan that you have in place there. And you cannot sit there, because it's like anything in life. Why do people not get wills and power of attorneys and everything set up? We think we're going to live forever. We don't need that. It's never going to happen to us. Same thing with being not diversified in the market. It'll never drop. I'll be fine. Whenever it gets time to retire, then I'll do something. We have a lot of people that are calling into us, and that's their biggest concern, is that they're on the fence. What's going to happen next? Stop doing that. Get off the fence, because you're not helping anybody. You're hurting yourself, because there's nobody, including you that's listening, that knows when the market is going to fall. And so just get prepared for it in advance. That way you don't care. You're set up for success, right, Steve?
Right, but Derrick, so many people don't even know they have a ticking time bomb. That they're worried about it, but they're not even taking the first step and sit down and say, here's what I have. How's it allocated? They have absolutely zero idea what the real risk is. After doing this 35 years, I was here for the old 2000 when the world was going to come to end, Jess. And then all of a sudden for 2008, the thing about 2008, Derrick and Jess, it separated the men from the boys when it came to money. I mean, it wiped out families. So I'm going to tell you, if you want an honest risk analysis about how much risk you're taking on with your retirement and what are the percentage of chances of being successful with the current plan you have, and then talk about maybe a new plan, call us today at Hoyle Financial. We'll sit down and get laser focused on what you need, where you are, where you're going, and we're going to help you finish strong.
Here on the show, again, Retire Texas Style, we like to identify either some pain points that people don't realize they have in their portfolio or their plan or their retirement process, but we also like to identify some mistakes that folks are making. And Derrick, we were kind of talking in the last break about how you are seeing lots of folks call in, and the biggest conversation people are having and the mistakes they're making are with their 401k. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Jess, in fact, I just had another one a couple of hours ago that sat down with me. We were signing everything and finalizing his plan and everything. He said, Derrick, he had a 401k, guys, and he left it alone as an employer for 11 years.
Woo!
So, yeah, and I want to tell you, first of all, guys, your 401k is not a managed account. No one's looking after you. Whatever investments you have it in, until you, a working person who works his butt off all the time goes in and changes it, no one's doing that for you. He was talking to me and he was like, I should have came to you with that 401k 11 years ago when I left my employer. Just let it sit there. I didn't need it. I was far away from retirement and everything. And he said, just the portfolio you put together for me, I know I missed out on tens of thousands of dollars worth of gains because I was just too lazy to do something about it. And man, it hit home because that's like the 10th person I've talked to that have said a similar thing, that it's a rash of leaving 401ks just lying around at Fidelity, Vanguard, whoever you have. And I don't need it right now, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But think about if you have somebody like me that can actively manage all those and start your diversification and make sure that your money is working very hard for you instead of just hoping and prayer that it's going to turn out. And so I got to tell everybody that is the number one thing I'm hearing a lot right now is that they should have done something with their 401ks from their previous employer. Guys, this is money you can take hold of. You can get it managed. You can put it to work for you. Don't sit there. 401ks are entirely too restrictive. They're not managed. No one's looking out for you. So get somebody who will actually look out for you in your best interest.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.